Welcome to the Money Mentors Podcast.
This Money Mentors Podcast is about helping you with your retirement questions. So if you have a question for us, reach out online anytime at matsonfinancial.com. It's also my favorite time of year, too. Ah, yes.
Basketball season. Well, it's been basketball season.
Yes.
But
this is the fun part, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's almost time to fill out our brackets. I look forward to that on Sunday evenings, watching the selection show, that kind of thing. Do you have a strategy, though, both of you, in picking your teams in your bracket?
I'd like to think that I do, but really until I see it, it's no. The short answer is no. I'm trying to come up with a crafty reason, but no, I don't have a real rhyme or reason.
We have
behind
a team member, Allie, and it was a few years back when we played this, and she filled it out based on the color or the mascot. So I was like, hey, that's a good way to go about it because honestly, you probably have a better chance because we know it is madness and things go haywire for what you expect. So I'm usually pretty positive that Michigan State's going to be somewhere. I have them going pretty far, but I'm sorry, Izzo. I don't think I'm going to have them going very far this year.
That other Michigan school, I don't even know where they're at anymore. So
yeah, they're not going to be in it.
Well, the Kentucky native here on your show says you can pick my Wildcats to go all the way if you'd like.
You're going to always have them up there.
Yeah, exactly. So I love it. I love, just the suspense, the drama, watching the games here. But we'll see where we stand next week come this time with our brackets. But let's talk about your strategy, though, as Money Mentors when it comes to what we'll call for this weekend anyway, tax bracketology. I mean, how do you help people try to get into the lowest tax bracket possible in retirement? And can that be fun too?
It's the most fun, honestly. It's always
how
best.
do I play this tax
Yeah,
game?
exactly. It's just a big math equation. My math teachers in high school would be very proud of me at this point. Yeah, it is a lot of fun to figure out where we're at, where can we help save in tax dollars. Ideally, we start before retirement, but just because you may already be retired doesn't mean that we still can't play that tax game and get you into the lowest tax bracket all the way through retirement. Now, I want people to understand is that doesn't mean that we're not paying taxes. We are going to be paying taxes, but the goal is to be paying less in taxes now, so later in life when RMDs kick in or higher income needs kick in, we're paying less taxes on it at that time. So we really look at where do you fall with your adjusted gross income within your tax bracket, and let's say that we got about $60,000 worth of adjusted gross income, top of the 12% tax bracket, let's just call it 90 just for round numbers. It's a little higher than that. So that $30,000 tells me that we've got some room. We can pull some money out of our IRAs, pay that 12% in tax, and of course the state of Michigan tax, convert it to your Roth IRA, and now it's going to continue to grow tax-free.
And so, when you're talking about savings, though, we know those tax brackets are going to go up in the future, Laurel. So right now is the time to really understand where you are in that bracket, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where a tax strategy isn't something that we sit down and can create very quickly and then it's done. So this is something to where you mentioned, that tax bracket is going to sunset at the end of 2025. So we have a couple more years here, but you want to start working on it now because it does take some time, through our process and getting to know you and understand you as the client and what you're looking for, helping you with those dreams, those goals and desires for retirement. And then we have to layer in this tax piece. And we're going to work with your CPA or your tax preparer. Or if you don't have one, we have some great preferred providers too that can assist you. And then we're going to look at this next year and the year after that because like you just mentioned, right, taxes change. And how do we always make sure that we're looking for the opportunity to better your situation?
Real life lessons about your retirement. You're listening to the Money Mentors Podcast.
Well, if you happen to be of Medicare age right now, 65 and up, get familiar with this name. It's IRMAA. And no, she's not our long-lost aunt or something like that.
Right, you wish.
It's actually an acronym for a term that affects your Medicare premiums. Can you kind of give us the high-level view on this? How does it affect us?
Yep. So IRMAA is income-related monthly adjustment amount, and that is essentially the fee that you're going to pay on your Part B and Part D Medicare premiums above the amount that they're already deducting from your Social Security if you're taking it.
Above.
Right? Above that.
Additional, yep.
Now that is based on your income. So we just talked about RMDs. So let's say you bump up a tax bracket, but then you also bump up an IRMA bracket. So now you're paying more in taxes, and you're also maybe paying, a third more, sometimes double that Medicare Part B and Part D premium, depending on where that income level sits. And so that's why the tax piece is so important, not only for taxes, but also for IRMA. And don't forget, you've been paying into the Medicare system all this time, right? And so now you're still paying for it when you file for your Medicare. And then based on how much money you earn, you may pay even more. So it's very important to keep that in mind. And that's one thing when we work on these tax plans, we talk about taxes. IRMA really is kind of another tax that we're looking at. So when we're looking at the brackets, we've got to look at both your normal federal tax bracket as well as your IRMA bracket to make sure everything plays nicely.
And that's why we also have an expert in this avenue that we work with right in our office. So we have a licensed agent. His name is Medicare Matt, we call him. You might have heard him on the radio with us before. But he helps us with all of our clients and their Medicare plans because just like Taylor said, there's so many intricacies and it's very different with every household and how it operates. Maybe somebody's on Medicare and somebody's on Marketplace. Whatever that is, we want to, here at Mattson Financial, have you enjoy retirement and getting there and have a less stressful path. So we're going to do a lot of that internal communication with the advisor and your licensed agent with Medicare to make sure both sides of this equation are speaking together and there are no surprises come tax time.
Also, an important thing to talk about when it comes to Medicare and IRMA is it looks back 2 years, right?
Okay.
So if you're 65 this year, your Medicare premiums are set based on what your income would have been in 2020. Or 2021 when you filed your taxes, right? So that's where a lot of people get hit is they don't retire till 64, 65. They're still in their highest earning years. And then the first year they get Medicare, it's like, oh, great, we got this good coverage. Oh my gosh, look how much I'm paying. That's because it's looking back 2 years. So that's important to remember when we're going into that Medicare stage. But if you're still working after Medicare age, then we don't have to worry about it quite as much because you're still likely covered by an employer plan. But at the end of the day, we talk about Medicare a lot with our clients, but that's why we have an expert in-house that Laurel was already talking about with Matt. And when we do our income plans and tax plans, I'm sitting down personally with Matt, working on your Medicare plan, your IRMA amount, your income plan, and your tax plan to make sure that all of these pieces play nicely together and are all under one roof as well.
Want weekly lessons from your money mentors? Yes. Hit the subscribe button now and listen every weekend on Wood Radio.
The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your financial advisor prior to investing. Any past performance discussed during this program is no guarantee of future results. Fee-based financial planning and investment services are offered by Mattson Financial Services, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services offered through Lakeview Financial Group, LLC, Mattson Financial Services, LLC, and Lakeview Financial Group are affiliated. To find out if Mattson Financial Services is licensed in your state, please call 800-536-8907.